It is the Lunar New Year, so happy New Year. I brought some sweets. Some yakwa.
Have you tried yakwa?
Yeah, I have it every day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I sit right where you're sitting every morning. And I have coffee and I have a yakwa. Not the large ones like this, but
The small ones, yeah, that's
it just goes really well with coffee. Let's do this. Yeah, we'll do here. Boom. Yeah. We are gonna make kimchi. Hey, so the question about what you think Koreans really like about social 19 videos. And you said something that was kind of interesting.
What I think that Koreans find really interesting is that how people react to our culture. We don't represent, all Koreans' general ideas. We just represent ourselves. So there are people who relate with what we say or not. That kind of depends. But what I think that people find interesting and why people search our class is because they want to see your reaction and the audience reaction.
Hel Joseon, can you guys talk about this a little bit?
It's so competitive to get a job or even like a good life there.
Just most of the students, they studied more than like 10 or 12 hours a day.
Competing with all these other people and you're back on the hamster wheel. And then once you get a job, maybe you're not making enough money and you're working and working and working. And no matter what, it's like hell. It's like Squid Game.
Because as you know, like last semester we had like 600 students and now we have like 800 students. So watching their reaction to how foreigners kind of react to Korean culture is really something that's interesting. It's also interesting for me. I think I would watch it even though I was in Korea. So I think that's really what makes Social 19 so famous and watchable.
It makes it, it is really interesting to hear what other people around the world are thinking about certain things, which is why I have to do the class the way I do. But I think if I was Korean, I would be really interested to hear what people are thinking about Korean culture. And then the fact that I can say what I think probably matters.
And having, like the foundation and the fact that you are aware of a lot of Korean culture and you do study those kind of stuff thoroughly really does mean a lot to us. We appreciate that. And I think that also is a big reason. It's not like you're just guessing, but you really know those kind of stuff. I see a lot of people saying that, how does he know what Suneung is? He knows everything about Korea, like he's an, like, also when you said, do you remember that when you said you wanted, like a Hyundai GV80?
Oh, yeah.
There were so many comments saying that, Hyundai should give you one. And, like...
Okay, Hyundai, give me one. I want new Genesis EV cars. How about this one?
This was something I talked about.
If I thought that people would respond this way, I never would have said that. When did you first learn about the class? Did you watch videos a long time ago?
I watched the video since maybe like 2 years ago. I forgot when was it, but I knew these videos, but I didn't know that this was our school professor. I thought it was another school and then really famous professor in another school. And
so you didn't know until you came to Penn State?
I knew it. That was the reason why I chose this. I enrolled this class to see you.
Yeah.
Before like 2 years ago, I didn't expect it. This was our school professor's class.
So. Yeah. Okay. How about you?
Same. I watched your video, not video, just like short form, kind of latest, like 1 or 2 years ago. But last year, one of my friends were your class. So, this professor is this professor. I just realized too.
That's so interesting. Yeah, I wonder sometimes, Han, how about you?
I watched the video on Facebook when I was in high school in Korea. Right before I decided in college in the US. But I didn't know you were in Penn State.
Yeah.
Turns out I got into the famous professor who I watched.
Yeah.
So like, because where's Penn State? And the people tell, you know, the famous professor who talks about Korea. You're in that university.
Ah.
Oh, that's nice.
It's so fascinating. So you're an exchange student.
I'm a transfer student.
Transfer student.
Yeah.
And why did you transfer to Penn State?
I've lived in the Philippines and, you know, like other countries when I was young because my dad does trade business and stuff. So I've been traveling a lot. And so traveling has always been kind of my final goal. I wanted to study about, you know, a lot of things, you know, like abroad kind of things. And I wanted to broaden, you know, like my view in... I study broadcast engineering and telecom media.
Yeah.
So I actually wrote about you in my college paper when coming to Penn State.
Oh, that's
Because,
cool.
you know, like I like Netflix and also your video, like Korean content. And, you know, like I just kind of realized suddenly that how impactful this is and how media transcends culture and barriers, all those kind of stuff. So I got interested.
That's so interesting. You know, earlier we were talking about how Korea, people don't realize that the class is about cultures all over the world, you know? Like, so people in the Middle East, they watch the class and they think, oh, this is the professor who talks about Muslims in the Middle East, you know, and I say, yeah, I do sometimes. But I also talk about Latin America and Asia and Korea and the United States. So for me, it's really quite interesting.
Why do you think that among all of those cultures and audiences, why do you think Korea has been, you know, like why this class has been, you know, a very
so
big
big
boom
in Korea.
Why Korea?
Yeah. Because it's more famous in Korea than anywhere. I think it's because Korea really got famous, like starting very beginning of BTS, right? So Korean culture was being known around the
Like
world.
2018.
Yeah, 2017, 2018. And BTS just took Korean culture to another level. I think that people started watching the videos right at that time, and I was providing a lot of content that people could see that like, hey, here's what people outside of Korea are saying. And it's not just me, it's other students in the class. So if it were just me, I would just be another person talking. And like, okay, that's not that interesting. But they get to hear other students talk. And I think that's one of the reasons why in Korea, Koreans really wanted to hear what outsiders were thinking about Korea. Because, you know, what people kept saying to me was, wow, we didn't know that we were so famous. That Korea was so famous or so popular. And like they didn't know that,
right?
You know, so the class provides a window. I think that that's a big part of it.
Yeah, I think that's a good expression.
You're right. Like back in 2018, we weren't that much famous. Like so, I first got in here was in 2018. So, do you know Son? Do you know Kim Yeona?
Yeah.
Do you know PSY? Do you know BTS?
Yeah.
I used to be like this, but right now, South Korea is a really famous country already, so why would it have to say, do you know BTS, do you know like blah blah blah? We don't even have to say like that. Yeah, because South Korea is already really famous.
They know.
They all know South Korea is a really huge country. Yeah. Not the huge, but it's a strong country. It is. Yeah. We all know, but I don't know why people still want people to know our cultures.
You know, what's interesting for me is that people your age, you don't know what it, like I think of my Korean students 20 years ago, who they would say, oh yeah, I'm from Korea. And people would say, oh, North Korea or South Korea, and where is that? No one knew anything about Korea. And now, you know, it's really, people know.
Everyone knows, yeah.
You know? I've always talked about Korea, but I think I started to really talk about Korea at the very moment that things really took off.
To pop up.
Yeah, and then we have a lot of videos. We pulled up some videos, and I'm curious about what some of the comments say. Oh my God, it's so interesting. Oh God, I'm such a nut, shy, you know, like, oh gosh.
이런 젊은이가 있으니 동료가 든든합니다.
I'm not translating that. I'm not.
Everyone steals everything, every single thing. So even the underwear, watches, backpacks, everything at there. But they're all Koreans.